Today, we're gonna open all of these boxes and I'm gonna tell you exactly how much I spent on all of my credit cards with 29% interest, getting this Supra to where it is today and how we're gonna get it back on the road. The first two episodes were the teardown. We went from this crumpled up absolute wreck of a Supra to this completely gutted interior and this completely gutted front end. While we're opening boxes, I'd love to share how much I've spent on this car with you guys. I'll do a deeper dive telling you how much I spent on engine repair, how much I spent on body panels, how much I spent on chassis, so on and so forth. Now, if you end up liking this video and you don't want to see me go to prison for credit card fraud, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things that helps me more than you know, and I desperately need your help right now. But to begin, we're gonna start with disassembly. Now, I waited to start cutting the frame off until we got the new frame rails here, or as Toyota calls them, the wheelhouse and apron. This is going to let me use the new frame pieces as a template to see where I need to drill out spot welds and where I need to cut. So looking at this, our frame rail goes all the way back, and we have this piece here that attaches to the firewall. These little circles right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the spot welds I need to drill out. I need to drill out all 7 of them. These 3, 1, 2, 3 there, 1, 2, 3, and then it goes behind seam sealer. I need to drill all of those out. Even before we drill out the spot welds, I have to get all of the seam sealer off. And even before we get all the seam sealer off, I still have to get like this sound ending off, this heat shield off, and this sound ending off here. But don't worry, because with a snap of my fingers, just like that, we got the old sound ending off on both sides. I also have to take the windshield wipers off because it was covering the top of this section here. And same with our underneath. Okay, so seam sealer. I need to get the seam sealer off right here. Usually I see people use wire wheels for this. I'm gonna try a sanding disc and a paint stripper. And if those don't work, I will get some wire wheels. And of course, I got my eye protection. First, we're gonna try the paint stripper. Boy, is that no fun. I don't know how I'm gonna get in there. Oh, I might need a respirator for this. Jesus Christ. Okay, well that was awful and a terrible idea, and it created so much smoke. I don't know if it was particles of this going everywhere or that, probably a mixture of both. I'm gonna get a bulk of this off with a chisel. I mean, look at this nice strip. So I can get most of it off with a chisel and then use a wire wheel to clean it. But getting that thick of seam sealer off and just making it powder absolutely filled my garage immediately. That was awful. I'm really liking the hammer and chisel method. It, well, for one, makes way less of a mess. Yeah, so hammer and chisel method, definitely my preferred method. Okay, I believe we got most of the top section done, so we didn't have any seam sealer around here. And then we got all the seam sealer off. You can see the shiny metal all the way down and around and back up. And we got this section ready to spot drill out. And I believe we need to do this section here. However, I'm not quite done with the passenger side yet. I have to do the frame rail. So frame rail, I gotta get this seam sealer off here and then all the way down. And of course the frame rail has 2 sides, so I gotta do that side all the way down as well. Little side note, I just noticed this. They didn't do seam sealer anywhere but right here, just this little section. I wonder what made them seam seal just right here, but nowhere else on this firewall. Okay, that should be all of the seam sealer off of our wheelhouse and apron. You can see all the way down and up in this crevice on both sides, which means I think we are ready to start drilling or grinding these spot welds out to remove this bent frame. It's been a long time coming. I'm very excited. that's these top pieces separated all the way around. So now I'm gonna just keep doing this for the next 8 hours, because I haven't even gotten the seam sealer off the other side. This is gonna be a very time-consuming process, but I'm gonna get back to work. So I'll let you know when I have a next update. All right, so like 4-hour update. Keith is here helping me catch up on time. Keith did the seam sealer on the driver's side while I was grinding away on spot welds on the passenger side. And I think we're like 90% of the way on the spot welds on the driver's side. There's a lot of them. The metal is too strong for the spot weld drill bit. It goes dull after like 5 seconds. We've resorted to the little sander thing, the belt sander. Hey, the mini belt sander, and that seems to be doing the trick for most of it.
It's very meticulous work, but it's not hard. It's just...
Amen.
Yeah.
It's not hard, it just sucks ass. Another thing Keith pointed out is that I have an air hammer, and that's been wonders for chiseling all of the seam sealer off, as well as chiseling the actual frame off of the body.
Did you want to show them my boo-boo?
So when you have an air hammer, hold on, I gotta stand it.
I told them that this was a risk of using an air hammer because I did about 10 minutes of work and realized that I didn't like hand chiseling.
Keith, not we, I almost said we. Keith.
No, it was we.
Okay, we put a hole in the floor with the air hammer. So if you're gonna air hammer, you gotta be careful with it.
Watch the dangle.
I also may have put a hole in the floor with the air hammer, but we don't talk about that. The nice thing is it's all steel and we can weld it back together. So that's your 4-hour, 5-hour update. You guys see zero progress. Literally, we're in the same exact spot. Okay, we are back. It's been a couple days. Shout out to Keith for coming in and putting some work in. He did a legit like 4.5 hours of work. That saves me a whole day, literally, so I appreciate it. This is turning out to be way more time consuming than I thought it was gonna be to remove the frame rail. I'm really hoping that this gets out to you guys on the normal 2-week schedule, but as of now, it's already been a week and we don't even have the old frame rails off, and I'm getting sick of these old bent up frame rails. New plan of action. We're gonna take this off in smaller bite-sized chunks, AKA, I'm gonna start cutting. You know what? I'm gonna call that progress. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's been so much work. And I just ended up cutting all this off anyway. Oh God. Okay, so basically we just cut the frame rail and around this loop here. But this opens up way more room. I will 100% do the same thing on the other side. So now, with that giant piece off, I think this should be way easier. This should be much smaller bite-sized pieces. I think if I cut right here, I should be able to get this top piece off. There we go. No, dude. It's like $1 every time I break a belt. Oh, I'm gonna run out of belts again before I can accomplish anything. Oh, okay. Oh man. Gonna have to fill all these holes from drilling too deep or sanding too deep, or sometimes it's attached and like bends and rips, but it's all steel, it's all fillable. It'll all be welded back together. But we got second piece off. Another thing I gotta be careful with, the reason why I cut so far out is I didn't know if any of this section protruded in to the frame rail. And that's the same situation I run into here. I don't know if any of the firewall, like down here, I don't know if the firewall comes out at all. All I have to go off of is the new piece there, but I don't know what it looks like underneath. So from here on, I have to be very careful of what I cut so I don't cut off too much. Let's focus on this corner now. Now I can get in here much easier to get this section off. Oh, dude, another belt broke. I didn't have this issue with the Amazon belt. So far, like 3 of the 5 belts I've used have just ripped in half. I love you, Harbor Freight. I have so many of your tools, but these belts are killing me, man. $1 every time. I should add a dollar counter. Every time I break a belt, $1. Okay, top one off, middle one off, bottom one, the hard one to get to. Okay, yeah. Yeah. All right, see that? Air hammer, quality tool, very strong, and can put holes in metal sometimes, so just be careful. Also, metal is sharp, so careful. Sharp metal is bad. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece off so the sharp metal is not in my way. Another piece. We're making progress. Gee whiz. 4 spot welds right here, and then we'll see how we can cut this top frame rail piece here and get it out of the way. Another demonstration of how strong air hammers are. I can literally cut metal with it. Just gotta be very, very careful not to cut something you don't want to cut. All right, another piece off. Okay, here we go. We got a little bit of progress to show. We went from this to this. Now, technically, there's only 2 pieces left. And when I say 2 pieces, I mean I'm gonna try to get them off in 2 separate pieces. And that is this bulky part here, and the second piece being this frame rail that goes about halfway down the car. If I can somehow manage to separate this and all I have to focus on is the frame rail, I feel like that's gonna make it come off the easiest. So next up, let's see what we can do with this piece here. Okay, so I cut a hole into here because right where the light's flashing, right in the middle of the screen there, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 spot welds inside of here that I wouldn't have been able to get to unless I cut this hole. So back on the tripod so I can get these spot welds. Hey guys, we're back at it. Wouldn't change a thing. Another $1, another belt. Starting off strong. We got like 1 spot weld in before our belt broke. All right, 2 belts down, 2 spot welds in. This can't be how these belts perform. I spent so much money on these belts. Dude, what is up with these belts? Like, I'm not even, that one broke, I wasn't even sanding. Okay, 3 belts. Dude, that's nuts. I'm gonna cut this section off right here. There's a frame rail right here that I'll show you guys in a second when I'm done cutting that stays on the car. I like cutting stuff. Okay, I have access to more spot weld. Yay. So I opened this up even more. Those are the spot welds I showed you before. I probably still have some more sanding to do there. And we got 2 more spot welds on the front here. And here's that frame rail I was talking about. This part stays with the car. This metal flange, however, comes off. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spot welds there. And there may even be one on the back that I haven't fully gotten. Broke a belt. Another belt. Okay. You know, I was really hoping that another belt would break. Okay. I'm okay. I'm all right. I have 5 belts left. Yeah! Progress! Okay, it's just the frame rail. Just this all the way back. That's the easy part, right? This stays, that stays, that stays. I'm hoping I can straighten that out, even on that side, even though it's worse. No, dude. Please. Please, belts. I am not doing anything that should be causing you to rip so often, dude. Boys, look at this. We're close. It's loose. There's a spot weld. There's one spot weld. I found another one. I have 2 belts. I have 2 belts left. 1 spot weld. A man in a dream. Please, Lord. Oh God, there might be 2 spot welds and I have 2 belts. Oh God, there's 2 spot welds. 2 spot welds, 2 belts, a man in a dream. Oh no. That scared me. I stopped sanding and it just fell off randomly. Oh God. We got 1 side off. Guys, I think we're probably 30 hours in and we got 1 side off. We learned a lot. Maybe the next side will only take 15, let's say half the time. I'm telling you, this was my first time doing this. A lot of mistakes, fixable mistakes. We finally did it. This is the most accomplished I have felt on this car for sure. Chevelle and Skyline, those all had their unique challenges that I felt really good on. This was a whole new, unique challenge for me. So many spot welds, so much air hammering. What a task. And the best part is, I get to do it again, dude. I was so excited every day to come out here and grind spot welds, and I'm only halfway done. And that just fills me with so much euphoria. You guys don't even know. We have 1 side off. I'm beyond, I can't even put it in words how just stoked I am to have gotten that side off. I know exactly what I'm doing on the other side now. There's gonna be so many less holes in the floor and in the firewall on this side. It's gonna be great. Okay, so we're back, I think the next day. I don't know how many times I've said that in this video. A lot, kind of sad. This side, bare metal, we're good to go. Keith actually is back to help me again. He's going to be cleaning up my mess over here, sanding it down, getting it back to bare metal so that it is ready for the new frame rail. And I'm gonna be tackling the other side. I've already put you through enough pain of watching that side, so this side will just be, I'll check in with you when I have sections off. So I'll see you in a couple days. Keith is gonna hold up the thing while I cut the other thing, and he's gonna lube me up too. We're good to go now. Thanks, Keith. Oh, it is going quick.
I told you.
Fire and rescue. Oh, you think it's the WD-40?
Yeah, look at that.
All right, ready? Oh, I forgot to go in between. Oh God, hold it. All right, you know, see you when we take the next piece off. Okay, back the next day. Thanks again, Keith. This is the second time he's put in like a 3 or 4 hour shift helping me, and I really appreciate it. The reason I appreciate it is this video is gonna probably be, not probably, I already know at this point, this video is gonna be 1 week late. I'm telling you guys, I'm putting in the hours here in this frame. It's just, I'm learning a lot, and it's taking me a lot of time to get it off, and I'm working on it, I promise. I try very, very hard to keep a 2-week schedule. You know, being part-time YouTube, that's really as fast as I can post them. And this goes to show I take on a little bit bigger of a project that I have less experience in, and instead of 2 weeks, it takes me 3. So again, thanks, Keith. Keith, yesterday, look at this. Look how nice this looks. You know, besides the holes, I'm gonna fix the holes, don't worry, but Keith sanded down the front passenger side where we already got all the frame off, and it's looking fantastic. We'll fill the holes, they're not that bad, I promise. That being said, I'm gonna continue working on this side. So I'll give you an update when I got the next piece off. All right, time for this top piece to come off. We're really close. Bada boom. I mean, not to brag, guys, but look, I only put like 1, 2, 3, and 4 holes compared to this side where I put, you know, a gash, a big gash, and then actually, you know what? These 2 were Keith, and these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, it's improvement. You know, again, Keith did those giant holes. I made these gashes, and I sanded through here. Compared to this side's pretty good. Improvement. Did I mention Keith made these holes? It wasn't me. All right, I should be close to getting this section and this top section off. There we go. There we go. Or if I can just fold it down. There we go. Just cut it. Oh, no, there it goes. Bada boom. There we go. Okay, this is the metal we just got off from right here. So from actually this corner over and up, which brings us to this bulkhead right here. That's what we're gonna take off next, and we'll leave the frame rail for last. Okay, last update for the day. We got this bulkhead cut off because there are spot welds on the inside that I gotta get to, and that'll let me get this right section off separately from the frame rail. Makes everything easier, plus you know, I have to get to the spot welds on the inside regardless. But that's where I gotta call it quits for today, and you know, a good bit of progress for 3 hours. Got this top section off, got this bulkhead cut, so we're ready for spot weld removal. Okay, you know, let's get to work today. Oh, okay, hold on, I gotta close the door. Okay, a pallet, boxes, everything's fine. Just half the car on the floor, another box. It's a little maze in here. Okay, here we are. Just had to navigate through the maze of old parts and boxes to get back into work today. So, after we finish getting off the old frame, which we're getting there, we just have this bulkhead and this frame rail. There's a dumpster outside, and we're going to organize the old parts, open the new parts to make sure we have the replacement for the old part, and in the dumpster the old part goes. I'm very excited to get my shop back organized and usable, because right now, besides this corner, it's full of stuff. Yeah, all right. There we go. There we go. Got that bottom piece off. So now, with this whole section free, it is just the frame rail all the way back. So I'll be back in an hour when, you know, the rest of the 100 spot welds are gone. Bam! Okay, hold on. We're not, that's the front. That's 99% of it. I gotta do the drive shaft loop real quick. It should be so easy. I'll be right back. There we go, boys. Oh. All of the old broken frame, unless you're gonna consider the quarter panel piece of the frame, all of the old frame is off. I'm so, I'm speechless. I'm so happy. We are back the next day with the frame off, and we get to do the fun stuff. Most, if not all of this, should be in the trash. And most, if not all of those boxes should be open. Okay, so you just watched me get the frame off the Supra. That was literally the hardest car project I've ever taken on. Hard as in just mentally hard. Laying underneath the car with no lift and having all that stuff fall on me wasn't very exciting. But moving on, I wanna do a kind of a cool shot. In my head, it's kind of cool. I wanna get all of the new parts out of the shop, organize the old parts front to back so we can do a nice little before and after of what the old parts look like compared to the new. So I'm gonna move all these boxes out, organize the old stuff. And we're starting off strong by cleaning up all my tools and cleaning up all the stuff underneath the car. Now I can walk around and we're gonna get started by getting all these boxes out. If my skid steer is gonna be able to lift this, but we're gonna try. The answer is barely. It barely lifted it. It was really heavy and really long, but I did start tipping over. And really quick, the last of these boxes. And just like that, all the new parts are out, and we can start organizing the old parts. The skid steer was absolutely unnecessary. I could carry each one of those boxes individually, but it was way faster and way more fun, so I don't regret it at all. But now let's organize all of the old parts front to back, and I'll be back when that's done. Well, boys, I flew my drone into a tree while trying to take some shots of the parts outside. So we're gonna have to do some hand filming where I wanted to do some drone shots. But we got our old parts all lined up. We got our hood, under tray, our front core support, our front radiators, our subframe, we got our actual dash. This is literally a Supra interior. And finally, we have our old exhaust and our old drive shaft. Obviously, a bulk of our damage is way up here. The frame is damaged, the subframe's damaged, the radiators are damaged, the front core support's damaged, the under tray is damaged, and our hood is damaged, and so much more that I've already thrown away because it was literally tiny pieces of plastic. So now that our old stuff is nice and organized, I can start opening boxes and replacing the old parts with new and throwing the old stuff in that dumpster.
Okay, let's get started with the prices.
The frame pieces were $2,630.28. All of the drivetrain components ended up being $6,653.06. That included $1,650 for the Femto unlock, $300 for the downpipe, $22,1108 for the catback, and $880.72 for all of the intake pieces that were broken. The interior was $1,997.83. $374.45 for the center console, and $1623.38 for the airbags and seatbelt. All of the splash shields ended up being $283.44. All of the front crash bar components, $765.49. The front subframe and all of the bolt and little components was $765.13. The suspension was way more than I thought it was going to be at $2,808.44. I saved a lot of money on used steering components. I saved $1,400 on the steering rack alone, bringing the total to $905.89. Not too much broken on the rear crash bar. We ended up spending $335.69. The radiator core support, $561.99. We saved a lot of money on the cooling. The radiator used was $1079.14, saving me about $1,000 there. And for the rest of the cooling components, including hoses and ducting and the side radiators, brought the total with the radiator to $1889.26. Headlights are very expensive. I had to buy 3 headlights total to make 2 good pairs out of it, and that was $24.97 for both sides. The front bumper was $1698.76, and that includes all of the grille pieces, the brackets, the bolts, and the front impact sensors, so that was a costly bit there. The hood hinges, the latches, the actuators, the cable, all of that ended up being $2049.63. Both front fenders used together cost $558.64. The passenger door was $1995. The quarter panel and the glass to go with it was $1286.12. And the rear bumper was $807.49, bringing the total for all of the body components to $9362.64. And the grand total for just parts, and I'm sure I'm missing stuff, and I'm sure I'll have to order more, $30,489.14. Started at 8:30 in the morning. It is now turning nighttime. I've been doing this for like 13 hours. Lunch break, dinner break, but yeah, it was like 6 hours of just opening boxes. But the dumpster is literally full. Old parts, cardboard, all of the packaging in the box, and I absolutely filled to the brim. The entire garage, 2 bays full of parts. And then, you know, the door and the quarter panel, and we still have all the engine stuff and all of the engine parts over here. I went hot boy, got titanium tips. I love being a little bit of a rice burner sometimes, so I got the titanium tips. Don't hate me for it. This entire box here filled to the brim with bolts, brackets, my transmission mount, like all sorts of stuff. I think I still need to buy front struts. I think those are bent. It's hard to tell. I did, unfortunately, order 4 duplicate parts, so that's unfortunate. There it is. That's all the new stuff. By now, you know every penny I spent on what. By now, you also know that I'm in crippling credit card debt, and I need you to like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things. It helps me more than you know. I need you guys for moral support. This is way bigger of a project financially and mechanically than I was expecting, so I need you guys. You guys are always so nice in the comments. People always say that the comments are such a bad place, but you guys show me nothing but love, and honestly, it's what keeps me going. So, love you guys. On that note, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share. It helps me more than you know. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.